If Samsung has any intentions of taking on the so-called flagship killer mobile market, it really has two other devices to take on. Hey, what is up guys, this is Bharat Nagpal and this is going to be our review of the new Galaxy A8. Looks like Samsung found the sweet spot with design this year. With finding huge success in the Galaxy S6 and the S6 Edge, Samsung has taken on to launch the new Galaxy A8, which is more or less a bigger version, a slightly more chunkier version, but a dumbed down version of the Galaxy S6. You get a 5.7-inch 1920 by 1080p Super AMOLED display which looks fantastic. You have an all-metal back and an extremely slim body which is only 5.9mm in thickness. The device feels great in the hand, is really well built, and Samsung has more or less focused on making this device look and feel like the Galaxy S6, also operate like the same. Now Samsung is more or less trying to take on devices like the Oneplus 2 and the Asus Zenfone 2, and in terms of design, Samsung may have actually done it. The Samsung Galaxy A8 has an extremely pleasant design and is really appealing to the eye. The curves and the contours of the body itself make the device look a lot more premium, especially in this gold color that we are trying out. While the Oneplus 2 is a crowd favorite, it is slightly more chunkier and it's considerably thicker at 9.9mm, and the Asus Zenfone 2 is approximately double at 10.9mm in terms of thickness of the 5.9mm of the Galaxy A8. Hardware-wise, Samsung has not left out quite a lot either. You have the new Exynos 5430 system on chip along with a Mali GPU. You get 2GB of RAM and 3000 mAh of battery. You also get 32GB of storage which you can pop in a micro SD card and expand it up to 128GB. Now the great thing about this is that if you don't need an expandable storage, you can use the other SIM card slot to add a secondary SIM card and make the A8 a dual SIM device. The Galaxy A8 also retains the 16MP f1.9 lens equipped optical image stabilization based camera on the rear and a 5MP camera on the front. Both of these cameras come with wide angle lenses and have been praised a lot by consumers globally on the S6. You get the same camera capabilities on the Galaxy A8 and they do a fantastic job of clicking pictures in low light as well as in well lit situations. The optical image stabilization works really well. The device also features a fingerprint scanner based in a physical home button which sits under the 1920 by 1080p display. Now this acts and behaves more or less like the same scanner found on the Galaxy S6 and the S6 Edge. However, the difference between the Oneplus 2's fingerprint scanner and the Galaxy A8's fingerprint scanner is the lack of a physical button on the Oneplus 2. While the scanner on the Oneplus 2 behaves like a home button when not in use, the reassuring feel of the A8 is slightly better. The Galaxy A8 is also the lowest in terms of RAM out of the three devices that we are mentioning. While both the Oneplus 2 and the Asus Zenfone 2 come with 4GB options, the Galaxy A8 only features 2GB of RAM. Now performance-wise, the Galaxy A8 is quite up there as well. We found the device to work really well in day-to-day use. You'll find that the UI is really fast and responsive and the Exynos chipset does a fantastic job of leveraging that for your advantage. You will run through basic tasks, browsing the internet, playing games without any lag whatsoever. The overall gaming experience on the Mali GPU is fantastic as well. Now, in the Chinese variant of the Galaxy A8, Samsung has utilized a Snapdragon chipset, which they did not in India. The use of the Exynos chipset will be preferred by a lot of people because of the lack of stability and a lot of heat issues on the Galaxy A8 with the Snapdragon chipset. On benchmarks, the device scores around the 50,000 versus the Oneplus 2, which scores 59,000 on Antutu. The Oneplus 2 clearly stands out as a winner in terms of specifications and performance, with the Galaxy A8 lacking slightly behind. The Asus Zenfone 2 is also the only device out of the three to feature a quad-core processor versus the Galaxy A8 and the Oneplus 2, both of which feature octa-core chipsets. You have a one-handed operation that will come in handy with the big 5.7-inch display. You also have Smart Stay, With Smart Stay, the device will continue to keep the screen on if it detects you looking at the device. You also get some motions and gestures. Smart Alert will alert you of all your missed calls and messages when you pick up the device, and a mute gesture will quickly mute the device if the phone is ringing and you flip it upside down. Palm Swipe to Capture enables you to capture screenshots on the fly by simply swiping your palm across the screen, which will cause the device to capture a screenshot and save it in the gallery. While these features may not be useful to many, a lot of people who are used to these features find them really handy. Samsung has also enabled you to use your fingerprint to sign in into websites on the browser. And you can also verify your Samsung account details using the fingerprint. You can enable this option from the fingerprints menu. It's quite easy to do. The camera on the Galaxy A8 is fantastic. It resembles that on the Galaxy S6, which got great reviews overall. While images are mostly oversaturated, they look pleasing to the eye. Contrast is fantastic, and exposure can be manually set according to your requirements. The inclusion of the Pro mode is something that people really appreciated on the Galaxy S6, and they continue to enable that in the Galaxy A8 as well. That means you'll get a lot more leverage when you're clicking pictures on the A8. The camera UI is more or less the same found on the Galaxy S6, and those who have used the device will find the Galaxy A8 to be very familiar in terms of usage. The optical image stabilization also works well, especially when you're capturing video. Now, the problem that we have with the Galaxy A8 is that despite the camera sensor and the chipset being capable of capturing 4K video, Samsung has left that option out on the Galaxy A8. We are assuming that Samsung has done that because the device would overheat a lot. Those with the love of selfies will also enjoy the front-facing camera. The wide-angle lens allows you to capture a lot more, and in fact, if you're clicking group pictures using the front camera, this feature comes in really handy. Now, Samsung has tried to leverage a lot on this device, especially the 3000 odd mAh battery. 3050 mAh to be precise, is not going to cut it out for this device. If you're using two SIM cards, you'll see that the battery life is only barely a day, and you'll find yourself looking for a charger more or less by the end of the day. If you're using one SIM card, we found the battery life to be slightly better. We also found that the battery was draining while the device was on standby mode, and which was the biggest consumer of battery on the Galaxy A8. Now, phone networks are fantastic and LTE speeds were great. We found that the device was easily capable of handling Airtel's 4G network in New Delhi and was able to get download speeds up to 56 Mbps in areas which usually get 36 Mbps on the Oneplus 2. Now, with the looks of everything, looks like Samsung has the right idea. They also launched the S6 Edge and the Galaxy Note 5 recently, which sort of mimic the design of the S6 and take it a little forward. So in terms of design, Samsung has the right idea, and also in terms of the camera, Samsung has done a fantastic job this year. What Samsung really needs to understand is how they are pricing these devices. With the launch price of 32,500 rupees, everyone is more or less expecting this device to cut down in price by about 5,000 rupees in the next coming months, which is a big deal for a first-time buyer. The Oneplus 2, which was launched at 25,000 rupees, will continue to remain at 25,000 rupees for at least 12 more months, which means that the device is a lot more premium to buy because it will retain its price through the year. Also, getting your hands on the Oneplus 2 is quite difficult at this moment, so those who got in line at the right time probably have invites and have already made their purchases for the Oneplus 2. While Samsung has figured out software and hardware, and they've also figured out design and usability of the devices in India, we feel that Samsung really needs to focus on price at this moment. Finding the capability of giving you a assured price means that the consumer wants to stick to a brand more loyally. If prices are going to drop for their devices as soon as they do, especially in the case of the Galaxy S6 and the S5 before that, we feel that Samsung sales really needs to rethink its proposition. But we feel it should have been for a price of around 25,000 rupees and not the 32,500 that it's been launched at right now. We also feel that the more rugged Oneplus 2, which features a magnesium alloy along with the removable back panel, which is easily replaceable, makes for a slightly better phone thanks to the better hardware and specifications on it. The only restriction with the Oneplus 2 is getting an invite, which will allow you to buy the handset. With Samsung Galaxy A8, you can walk into a Samsung store and pick up the handset right now, which means that in terms of availability, the Galaxy A8 wins as well. So while Samsung's got three things right, design, availability, and cameras, It more or less lacks on the hardware and pricing. Samsung also needs to bring into control its battery life issues along with heat issues that were found in the Galaxy S6, which also sort of occur on the Galaxy A8 with extreme usage case scenarios. So if you're in the market for a new handset, and if design is not really your key element, or if you're looking for a rugged, more masculine device, the OnePlus 2 is definitely the better bet out of the Galaxy A8 and the OnePlus 2. Now, the Asus Zenfone 2 is last year's handset, and we're already expecting Asus to come out with more devices this year. They've already launched a few devices, but a Zenfone 2 replacement should be expected anytime soon. That being said, the Galaxy A8 is available right now. It's really easy to buy. It's the slimmest device. It looks fantastic and it features fantastic cameras. You also have the capability to expand the storage by another 128GB, which the OnePlus 2 lacks. But to do so, you need to get rid of one SIM card. Both the OnePlus 2 and the Galaxy A8 have dual SIM LTE capabilities, both of which work fantastic. So if the decision is between the OnePlus 2 and the Galaxy A8, it really comes down to patience and the amount of money you're willing to spend. If you have further questions and want to look at some images of the Galaxy A8's camera, visit our full review at iGyaan.in. Catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button if this video helped you out. This has been Bharat, guys. Thank you for watching.